Hello, companions. I totally forgot it was meditation time. So now I find myself in the middle of a tunnel. I just sat down here because the sound is so incredible when cars come by. So I'm going to tell you the rest of the story, and if there's a car coming by, I'll wait. Three years ago, I've been telling you what happened up to then. I was making career, I was busy, I was in IT. Things hadn't been going so well. I had very little energy. I thought I might have been having health problems, and maybe it was to do with the divorce. I was very emotional all the time. Didn't really understand what was going on. So that day I felt, well, like I was used to feeling, and I was like, no, this day is not gonna bring me much. I'm gonna go to bed. And it was 2 o'clock. Well, I couldn't sleep, so I put on a movie, and then another movie, and then another movie. So I binged, and at 9 at night, I was watching Black Adam, I think it was. And I was 20 minutes before the ending, and I suddenly felt really bad. I was like, oh, something's going on. I need to go to the bathroom. Maybe I'm gonna vomit. So I was trying to get up, but I couldn't. It's like when you dive into a pool and you get confused and you don't remember what up is. You don't know which way to swim to go up. This was the feeling. I just didn't know which way to go up. So I couldn't get up. So I fell back down on the bed. And I was watching my wall, basically. And everything started shooting up and to the right, diagonally, with tremendous speed, and standing still at the same time. It was all weird, but it was something that I had experienced. I had been drunk, the room had spun before, was just a little bit awkward to focus. But then something happened that I did not have any prior experience with, and I don't think many of you will have that. I couldn't describe it to the doctors. They misunderstood me. They said, oh, it went black. No, it didn't exactly go black. Oh, what then? And then you have to go back a little. If you look at your, what you can see, the whole breadth of the vision that you have, it's about 180 degrees. You can see your hands when they're outstretched. You can just see them both. If you wiggle your fingers. And next to that, there's no black. Outside your vision is not black. It's not supposed to be anything. So what started happening was that the angle of my vision, which was 180, just started to collapse slowly. And it became smaller, smaller. But still, outside wasn't black. It was just not supposed to be there. So it went into a point and disappeared. This is all 15 seconds. And then it was gone. But it was okay. I wasn't worried. There was nothing. Imagine that about 2 octaves down. Just beyond what you can hear. rhythm, very slow rhythm like the waves of the ocean. So I focused on that. I had been meditating the year before to kind of control the emotions that came up during the divorce. So gravitating towards his rhythm felt naturally. It was, of course, my breath. But I didn't know that at the time. It was just a rhythm. So I was listening to this rhythm for a long time. And then at some point I thought, shouldn't there be more? Finish that thought. So it was more like an irking, like something's off. I couldn't really tell what. This thought that this might be medical. I might be sick. Something might be wrong. But there was no panic, no fear. Just was the thought that I should do something. There were a couple of numbers, 112, which is the alarm number in Holland. I knew I needed to call 112. But at that moment I didn't know what all that meant. There was no body, there was no vision. a second rhythm became a heartbeat. And I noticed I could move my head a little, and then I had a body again. I couldn't move my arms or my legs. And my eyes were still closed. So I opened my eyes, but I didn't. It seemed like it didn't work. I didn't see a difference. And then there was it. Then there was a difference. And I could see, but everything was still shooting up and to the right. So it was incredibly difficult to focus on one bit because my eyes kept sliding off and I had to refocus on the thing again and again and again. And I practiced on the line between the wall and the ceiling, keeping that still. At some point I managed to get it just a little bit blurry, but I managed to see things again for a couple of seconds at a time, and I wanted to look around, but then I found I couldn't really move my head. So I practiced a little movement in my neck to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Phone on the bed. I had taken the double bed in my divorce. I was laying on one side, my phone was on the other side. There was no way for me to reach it. Okay, I'm gonna. Still a long way to go, but time is up. So this was a weird one, but it was always going to be a weird one, so maybe that's okay. Maybe this is the perfect environment for me to tell about this weird experience. So, I thank you for joining in. If you made it to the end, that's big. And next time I'm gonna tell you from how I got my phone, the rest of the story. Thank you for joining in.